Indiana leaders promised to bring billions of dollars in development and possibly hundreds of new jobs to our area over the last 3 years. But last week, Governor Eric Holcomb announced that Lawrenceburg was no longer in the running. James Pilcher found out what happened to that project.
More than 3 years ago, Indiana state leaders, including now Vice President Mike Pence, vowed to sink billions of dollars into this site behind me to build a new port on the Ohio River. Last week, the state pulled the plug. The reason? This place is too environmentally contaminated to make it work.
The Tanner Creek site is where a coal-fired power plant operated for decades. It shut down less than 10 years ago, leaving behind at least 3 or 4 ponds filled with highly toxic fly ash. Former Governor Pence and his successor Eric Holcomb wanted to build Indiana's 4th port on this site of more than 700 acres. There was never an official price tag attached to the project, but it was going to be in the billions. Recently released environmental studies found only 100 acres is usable, however. That leaves leaders like Lawrenceburg Mayor Kelly Malone trying to figure out what to do next, although the city is still exploring using the site.
Always a disappointment when you're being identified as the 4th port of Indiana and then all of a sudden you're not. I was a big cheerleader for it, always been behind it, but the way I look at it, Jim, is everything happens for a reason. And I think we'll get some really good private development in over there.
The state's decision was a victory of sorts for environmental activists such as Matt Miles. He's been trying to get the owners to clean up the site for more than 2 years. Miles says it still poses a risk to Dearborn County's drinking water.
Stopping the port was never really the goal. It just became necessary. It cost me 2 years of my life. It cost me my reputation. Cost me a lot of things that are going to come to light.
In its release, the state said it was continuing to monitor the cleanup and will continue to do so for the next 30 years. In Lawrenceburg, James Pilcher, Local 12 News.
Indiana environmental officials said today that the decision to pull the port project will have no impact on the work they do at the site.